and welcome back to Jack and Mack's Thack. We have today a wonderful guest, great guy. Would you like to introduce yourself, Mr. Raya?
My name is Mr. Raya. I am the servant for Master Fledgeby. He is my master and I serve him, but I just wish he could respect me a little more in my religion and my beliefs.
You know, I really respect you for that, because as we've seen in the book, Mr. Raya just tolerates whatever Fledgeby throws at him. He just racist remarks everything. Like how your people like money and stuff.
Yeah, he can't belittle my beliefs. A man can believe what he wants. And Master Fledgeby always hurls insults at me, but it's okay, I take it, I respect him.
And that's why I really like the opening part in chapter 1, because it kind of reflects the way Fledgeby treats him and how Raya really just takes the brunt of it without saying anything. He just cuts through that murky fog that's yellow and then brown and browner and browner, and then it gets black almost, where you can't see like a foot in front of you. And I really respect that for you, because it's the same metaphorically for Fledgeby's verbal affronts to your character.
Lost it.
Anyways, I really like how patient you are also. You knock on his door, no answer. Knock again, no answer. And then this goes on for like half an hour, even after he's like, oh yeah, I'll come get it, and then he doesn't.
Yeah, I always try to respect him, even though sometimes he's very frustrating to deal with, but I always try to have class and respect.
I mean, it takes a big man to be able to, tolerate that kind of stuff when he's affronting you, your people, your family, all in one thing. Like, he makes it seem like Raya is in charge of that entire terrible business where they rip people off. And we see when Mr. Lamley comes in that he really just takes it when Fledgeby says, oh yeah, I'm just doing business with him and he's ripping me off. And he's like kind of chuckling to himself, and Lamley's like, haha, I know how you feel. And he's like, no you don't. But that's kind of behind.
Yeah.
So, anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing much. I just hope people remember me as a classy, respectful guy who can take it and still be nice. I'd like to thank McDonald's. Get 10 chicken nuggets with this every Jazz home game. Great deal.
Alright, we would just like to say that nurses make house calls. After all, the doctor did come into the Jolly Tavern to save Rider Hood's life, and yes, that's wonderful. Now, on to chapter 2.
This is where Raya goes to visit Jenny Wren. And we just had a fantastic interview with Raya. Thanks again for being here. That is courtesy of Mr. James Havel. Magnificently played. Now Raya goes to visit Jenny, and
we kind of see like we kind of see degrading of her maturity.
Of Jenny, yeah.
Like she's kind of fantasizing about a lot of stuff.
Well, it's almost just like a switch. I mean, she used to be so mature, and remember, she was having to be, wear the pants in the family because her dad would come home and be drunk all the time. And now she is calling Raya a godmother, and I thought you listened to fairies. And so she's acting her age. But now it's just weird because she was originally very mature and grown up. Now, because it's the Olympics, I'm going to read this sentence here.
Shut up.
Well, exclaimed Miss Wren, delighted. Now you are a clever old boy. If we gave prizes at this establishment, but we only keep blanks, you should have the first silver medal for taking me up so quick. Just wanted to give a shout out to our fantastic USA team over there in Sochi. More in chapter 2. We find out that Raya has a family. He makes a slight comment and he says, some beloved companionship fades out of most lives. Said the Jew. He's giving advice to Jenny, and he says, that of a wife and a fair daughter and son of promise has faded out of my own life, but the happiness was. So we do know that he was happy.
Right, but we don't know the circumstances.
Yeah, and
how
so
they faded out.
Right.
That means they
died, or you know,
kind of pieced out.
which is amazing because Raya is still a very a nice guy.
Yeah,
He's
very
still, not even bitter,
and
so hopefully they've had they obviously had a good effect on him enough that he's still nice.
And I thought it was interesting. Jenny Wren is doing well enough that she's able to pass out business cards. Now, obviously, they're not that expensive, but dressmakers don't make that much.
No.
I mean, as we established with Mr. Boffin, they're.
We actually see her works her dolls in the toy window in this chapter when Jenny Wren and Raya go out and hit the town. She's like, oh, there are my dolls, and he said, congratulations, goddaughter, and they have this nice little grandfather-granddaughter relationship. Now they go into Miss Potterson's tavern.
Yeah.
And
Jolly Fellowship quarters.
That's right. And now Raya and Jenny Wren came to deliver this message to Miss Potterson, and this is on page 434 on the Penguin Edition book, and Mack's going to read this for us here.
Alright. She made us promise to come and show you a paper which she left in our hands for that special purpose. I am an unserviceable friend of hers who began to know her after her departure from this neighborhood. She has been for some time living with my young companion and has been a helpful and a comfortable friend to her. Much needed, madam, he added in a lower voice. Believe me, if you knew all, much needed. And that is referring to Lizzie Hexam.
Now, we don't know where Lizzie is, but we do know that she's left and she's living with Raya's young companion. We don't know, maybe that is a new love interest, but obviously it was much needed, whether we think that's a...
No, that is
the paper. Sorry.
It's Jenny Wren that he's referring to.
I apologize. I read that wrong. Thanks, Mack, for keeping me on mind.
Absolutely.
I think that's...
besides the fact that there's a giant steamer, just kidding, a small boat that crashes.
Wow, how could I forget that?
They find a body, and then it's Riderhood.
And we will come back with that in chapter 3 to find out what happens to Riderhood. Does he die? Does he stay alive? And what will happen next? Stay tuned. That was probably the cheesiest thing I've ever said. Welcome back to Jack and Mack's Thack Attack. Thank you. We just heard from Mr. Raya. It was a pleasure to have him on the show. We are in Charles Dickens' Our Mutual Friend, book the 3rd, and this is chapter 3. Now, we have just found out that Ropesmith. Riderhood. I get those two mixed up. But they're kind of the protagonist and antagonist, so I probably shouldn't get them mixed up. Riderhood has been discovered that he is the man who's drowned in the river or on the boat, and so Abby Potterson is at the bar and she says, "Hurry, bring him in," because she kind of feels like it's their civic duty to bring, just to help people out.
Right, and some other people, like a doctor and some other guys, are trying to resuscitate him because they feel obligated to, even though. To a certain extent, they feel
they may not like him.
Right, and they almost don't want to save him. They're like, oh, he's dead for sure now.
Yeah, because he's the cause of so much trouble. Yeah. They also tell her to go get Pleasant. And actually, there's a great paragraph in this chapter about Pleasant and how she feels about people treating her dad with respect, and she kind of wonders what it would be like if he actually, was a respected person. This is on page 441 in the Penguin Edition, paragraph 2. It is something so new to Pleasant to see her father an object of sympathy and interest, to find anyone very willing to tolerate his society in this world, not to say pressingly and soothingly entreating him to belong to it, that it gives her a sensation she never experienced before. some hazy idea that if affairs could remain thus for a long time, it would be a very respectable change floats in her mind. So she's kind of dreaming about this and wondering what it would be like. That is the monthly number 11. And again, I'm Jack.
And I'm Mac.
And this is Jack and Max.
Thack
Thack Attack. Have a great one, guys. See you next time. Alright.
That's solid.
You like that?